Hey everyone, with this video we wanted to give you a quick rundown of everything happening with our Counter-Strike roster, but don't worry, we'll have all of the normal TL announcements coming shortly, so stay tuned.
Hey everyone, it's Victor from Team Liquid. I'm here with Steve Perino, the Counter-Strike manager for Team Liquid, and we'd love to talk you through some of the things that are happening with our roster, with our organization, some of the decisions that we've made that obviously impact our presence in Counter-Strike. I think one thing to talk about is Team Liquid not having a majority roster for North America anymore. I can definitely say that was not an easy decision to make. That in and of itself was maybe as complicated, as difficult of a decision as either of these individual roster moves or which player do you work with. We've always had a really strong presence in North America and feel like we've tried to or maybe carried that torch for the past 8 or so years. Building from 8 years ago with a roster that I don't think was top 20, top 25 in the world, all the way to eventually becoming the number one and winning the Grand Slam. Unfortunately, we feel right now an organization that wants to be, top 3, top 5 in the world can unfortunately not be tunnel visioned on being North America only. So first, we are picking up Rainwaker, which I definitely understand some of the community reaction here, even if I don't necessarily agree with it. So we'd sat down with our staff, our team, our players, reviewed all options for Team Liquid. Some of them superstars, some of them expensive, some of them more talent, some of them more up and coming. And the truth is simply that across the board, staff and players alike said Rainwaker is absolutely incredible.
So when it comes to picking up a new player, it's actually quite an intricate process. You have me who's reaching out, figuring out logistics, agents, buyouts, salaries, everything like that. And in the background, we have our coach Damien and our analyst Jay making spreadsheets, going through player demos, roles, how they fit, are they a good culture fit, how's their English. There's so many other variables that go into the decision. We have players on that list that range from the best players in the world to players you've probably never heard of. What separates Rainwaker apart from the other candidates we've looked at is when you look at usually tier 2 Counter-Strike, they're mechanically very, very strong, but they use their mechanics and their aim more than grenade positioning, situational awareness to get themselves out of situations. And with Rainwaker is the exact opposite. He doesn't look the flashiest, but he plays the game in a way that is repeatable, and we think he's going to be an amazing anchor for Team Liquid.
We think that he is ready to compete at a tier 1 level, of course pending some strategic integration as any team needs to go through. But we think he's ready for that, and we think he can play with the absolute best of Counter-Strike. That's why we made this move. But at the same time, when we go for a player like that, and we are identifying the fact that we seemingly are early to this observation, it's totally okay. It's totally fine for the community to, at least in the moment, hopefully temporarily disagree with that. And I think when it comes to a move like this, when you add a player like Rainwaker to a top tier organization, I think the truth will be in the results. The truth is not in this moment. It's not in us saying this is the right move. The truth is not in the community saying what are you doing? Are you crazy? We believe this team can get the playoffs, semifinals, finals, hopefully win championship. And so Rainwaker is the replacement for Nitro. Then I think the second one, maybe a little bit more surprising for the community, would be Patsy for Elige. And we've been working with John for the past 8 years. He leaves behind maybe the greatest Team Liquid player legacy that we've had to date. Playing for us for 8 years, the only comparisons I can think of are TLO, Mana in StarCraft, maybe Hungry Box. To have had the achievements together like we've had with John, if there were to be one, he would be in the Team Liquid Hall of Fame, first entry on the wall. So we're really, really grateful for our time together. The reality is also that the past year has not been our greatest year together. And we feel that a player like Patsy does not become available just any moment in time. When we learned that Patsy was potentially available for us, we made the tough decision to bring him onto the roster and part ways with Elige. I would also add to that I think Elige is someone that can reinvent himself, pick himself up. This saying is maybe used more often than it should be, but like sometimes it's true. Like a change of scenario can truly be good for people, and I really believe that that's going to be the case for Elige. I really believe that he still has everything in him to be a world-class player in Counter-Strike. But I do think a change of scenery is needed for that to come out at this point. I don't know how that would have happened at Team Liquid. You've gotten to know us if you watch Counter-Strike. We see esports as a sport. It's a competition for us. We want to win championships. And with the state of Counter-Strike at this moment in time, that means for us that we need to look for players in other parts of the world as well. From perspective focused on North American Counter-Strike, I do think it's alarming, and Team Liquid has been raising those alarm bells honestly for the last 3 to 4 years. We've been knocking on the door with Valve, we've been knocking on the door with Blast, with ESL, with partner teams in the Louvre agreement, with partner teams in Blast. We've consistently either created or lobbied for programs of support for North America, building talent, and unfortunately that didn't always lead to a place where we felt good or confident about the future in North America. Some of those doors were closed. Sometimes other parties have other interests in mind, and we respect that as well. And so we've worked on initiatives like within the Louvre group, so that's the group of partner teams working together with ESL. We try to work on subsidies for the North American teams, where being in North America actually could have some upside as well to really build and focus on this region. From my perspective, not enough has been done there, but it cannot only just come from Team Liquid. We cannot carry this concept of like talent building and top performance and monetization and somehow winning championships for our partners all on our own shoulders.
So obviously an elephant in the room is we still have NA players on our roster. But thankfully we have something called the Alienware Training Facility in Utrecht, which we can utilize a ton to get our NA players training out of Europe. We've already done it. It's nothing new, but we'll just be there more often. While we're in this process, we're also going to try and get them residency and get them a permanent place to call home in Europe, so there's no stress. We're not dealing with visas and all of these crazy things that can really impact a player's life, and living out of a hotel room can definitely really impact someone's life. So we're thinking long term here. I think everyone sees the future of Counter-Strike is moving to Europe, and we're going to find the most comfortable and best place for these players to live and continue their careers in Europe. So to all the NA fans that are feeling really let down right now, I feel your pain. First and foremost, I am an NA fan, NA CS player, and I just want to say that we tried our best. I think that more than any other team, behind the scenes, we were working with ESL, Blast, team owners, streamers, anyone you could think of to make NA a place that was more sustainable in multiple ways. And ultimately, collectively, we failed. And I hope that this is sort of a wake-up call to the region that, you know, we need to build NA, we need NA. And I am willing to say that I'm not giving up on NA, personally. I'm going to be in those NA calls, NA meetings, trying to make sure that our region stays alive and that there's a place for aspiring NA players to have a career and have a dream of playing on TL still. To the longtime TL fans that are sitting there saying, TL, what the hell are you doing? I would just ask that you trust us. Not everything might make sense right now, but believe it or not, we know what we're doing, and TL CSGO will be back on top. It might take us a little while, but we will be there.